Another of our building blocks to having an amazing marriage is how to resolve conflict, which includes forgiving.
Oh, that's a big one, Ty.
They're all big.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
It is, though.
It is. That's right. So conflict can either be your friend or foe. And if people understand what forgiveness is and how to truly, completely resolve conflict, what it will do, which is what it's done in our marriage, is resolving conflict has increased our love for one another.
Right.
And increased our oneness and conflict.
And don't you think a lot of people avoid conflict? I mean, there's
Right.
the term conflict avoidant. It's like they just pretend like it's not there, and it's so unhealthy. Conflict is in any relationship that's below the surface is going to have conflict.
Right. So when we were talking about gunny sacking,
Right.
to not resolve conflict is to make to make your gunny sack more heavy.
Right.
And so probably we've all been around couples where maybe they've been married 10, 20, 30 years, but when you're around them, you're like, you know,
Do they even like each other?
Right. We've gotten in the car after spending the evening with couples like that, and we're like, oh my gosh, they don't even seem to enjoy each other anymore.
Yeah. And I think we look at it through that lens so much because we have such a heart to see people be fulfilled in their marriage relationship. I mean, I think of one couple in particular.
What are their initials?
I'm not going to tell you, but literally, you'll think this is an exaggeration, but I don't know that they've ever resolved a conflict.
Completely.
They get upset.
Yeah.
You know, they go their separate ways, disengage, whatever.
Silent treatment.
And then act as if nothing ever happened when they're not mad anymore. But it's like their level of intimacy, it's just sad to me because...
Well, right. And then when I was growing up in the 70s, you know, you would hear comments like Mr. and Mrs. Smith ended up getting divorced because he didn't take the trash out on time, or how he squeezed the toothpaste tube. And you're like, oh my gosh, there's no way anybody could end up getting a divorce because of that. But if couples don't learn and get the tools of resolving conflict,
right,
their gunny sack fills up. You can see how the tipping point could be something very trivial, but it's that and all the unresolved issues that in the past.
It's actually years and years of unresolved conflict, and one day it's just like, I've had enough. So resolving conflict is huge.
Why don't you share, as we close out this segment, about the couple we were doing our workshop on forgiveness, and how after this seminar was over, the couple came up and how impactful that was.
Yeah, we did a marriage, actually this was a marriage retreat, and a young couple came up at the end, and they waited until everyone was gone.
A married couple.
Yeah, young married couple. They'd been married less than a year, if I remember correctly. And the young woman was visibly shaken, and she was in tears, and she said, I know that I've never forgiven I've been deeply hurt by my father, and she shared the details, and I've never forgiven him. And she made the decision to forgive her dad, and it was just so powerful to watch them. And they shared how it had affected their marriage, and you could just tell. I mean, you and I knew walking away. I don't even know if they realized it, but their marriage was forever changed that night.
And we've talked to them since then.
Yeah, but that moment I knew it, and then when we talked to them later, it's like she's not as angry. She's whatever, more patient.
They have more joy
in
the marriage relationship. And so we are so passionate about helping couples have the tools to know how to resolve conflict completely, so that conflict becomes their ally and not their enemy.
And telling them that it takes courage to have the tough conversations. Sometimes you avoid it, but you have to have the courage to have the tough conversations if you want a great marriage. So we really like sharing about that.
So the great thing is, and there's a principle in the Bible that says, do not let the sun go down on your anger, which the principle there is keep short accounts. So for like us, we've been married almost 28 years, rounding up to May 31st.
Our anniversary's coming up.
I haven't forgotten. And so I think in 28 years, we've maybe gone to sleep at the end of the day a half dozen times where we knowingly didn't completely resolve the conflict.
Right.
But that's not bad. That's not too bad. And so my point is the next time we have a conflict, we will be dealing with that conflict and not that conflict plus all the
Yes.
other unresolved conflicts that we never resolve. So
Yeah, there are a
it's
lot
powerful.
there are a lot of couples that are really angry with one another and have a lot of baggage. So,
So
we
we
love
love
to help them.
Right. So we love seeing couples get hope by knowing how to resolve conflict and getting their gunny sack more and more empty. So,
Yeah.
again, we hope you join us to talk about and learn how to resolve conflict completely.
Yes, do it. Just do it.